Um, so here we are. Yes, I know we have a plan for today for this conversation, Rachel. But I saw something that really riled me, and I want to talk about that if that's okay with you. Just
Yeah.
get your opinion, because it going back always to the things you know we were talking about the other day, that the biggest problem horses have is that we don't understand that we have a problem.
Mhm.
Something like that we were saying, like, we don't realize there's a problem, so why should we do anything about it? Yeah, it's that
Mhm.
we don't know that we don't know room. And there was this post, again, it's these big accounts with big following making fun of thinking posts they call it. And it was this, oh, it made me feel nauseous, actually. And it was these poles and these horses just tied to the poles in the middle of nowhere. Just stand there until you stand there quietly. Just stand there. And it's a law. It's a lauded. Is lauded? Is that the right
Mhm.
word? Like, people are saying, "What a great idea!"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and it just makes me want to cry.
Yeah. We call well we the when in the Western um discipline they are known as patient poles
Or
to
was it a
teach
patience
patience
poll?
to teach patience.
Yeah, but okay.
Either way, doesn't matter what you call them. I don't think they do either of either
Yeah, I
thinking or
mean,
patience.
So, and it's not that I wanted to dwell on that particular thing, but once again, with people that are listening to us, how we can all join in what we can do to stand up for horses, which is what we're all about. Just remind ourselves again and again, what could I do today to stand up for horses? What could you do? What could you that listening? If you're listening, where's my camera so I can look at you? If you're
You,
listening,
you, you.
what can you go out and do to, yeah, what can you go out to do? I'm going to tell you a story now. What can you go out and do today to make, it's not make life better, it's to create more awareness of what horses, that some of these things are a problem, and I know, and the thing is, I know I did a lot of them. And then I keep going back to, well, what did you need, Monica? What did you need to then see it differently? And I always say I needed to come across a horse that I couldn't make him do what I wanted him to do. That
Mhm.
was what I had to come across. But do you feel that's the only answer? I mean, can't we just come across it by common sense?
It can't be the only answer, but it is definitely one of the main reasons why people look for better methods that are usually much more nature-based, like understanding your
Mm,
horse-based.
mm,
The problem
mm.
is you have to combine curiosity with the frustration that you're not getting the responses or you can't make your horse do what you want it to do. You have to have an element of curiosity. Otherwise, what happens? I don't know, the horse gets beaten into it, whether that's physically, mentally, or emotionally, or they get passed on to somebody else because they're too difficult, so they get sold on, and so many horses get passed hand over hand over hand because the principle is the lack of curiosity, the lack of actually asking the question why.
Yeah. You said this about the curiosity on our conversation the other day about it being difficult to stand up for horses, and how you were accosting that social post where you stood up for horses. Well, you didn't even stand, you were standing up, but you were asking a question, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
nobody else had the curiosity. And you mentioned this, and I remember it, that really stayed with me. Like, be curious. And not only with the horses, I have found that it actually made me a better person that you said that, because there have been moments where I've been upset with something that somebody did, and it's come to mind. I'm going to have a little lump in my throat now. Um, Rachel says, be
Oh God.
curious. Why might that person be doing?
Yeah.
Why might that person be doing that? Why might that person be doing that? Don't jump to conclusions. Don't jump to conclusions. Curiosity, I think is I think you really hit on something like that. It's not knowing or not knowing or wanting or not wanting. It's just let it curious.
Yeah.
I even stood up for another human being because somebody was being unfair in their judgment, and I said, give them the benefit of the doubt. You don't know why that's happening.
Good for
Ask
you.
first. Be
Good
curious.
for you.
And I said,
Be curious.
I have to go into a Rachel. So going back to horses, being curious, that is just asking why. I do say it to people when, as you know, I don't do it anymore, but for many years, I served the tourists in the area. A lot of people come to Spain and they have it on their bucket list that they want to ride a horse. And
Yeah.
so they come to my horse experience. And, some of them had never been around a horse, which were my favorite because I could start on blank. But some come, oh, yes, I'm experienced. I know what I'm doing. And you hand them a head collar. And I ask, so why are you going to the left side of your horse? Why? Well, because my teacher said I have to go to the left side of my horse. Well, why?
Yeah.
Have you ever had that? But we don't stop to ask. Right?
Yeah.
I'd love to know if anybody listening now is wondering, well, why?
What?
You'll have to watch till the end, and I'll tell you at the end. So, or getting on from the left. Well, why do you have to get on from the left?
Yeah.
Why? So
And
that's the first why.
But I also think that we as professionals need to make sure that we are opening the door for them to ask us why also, because I do think we have a responsibility to be more open and available, because it's hard, it's hard for somebody who would like to ask the why, but feel they're intimidated because either, well, I should know this or but no, we as
100%.
professionals need to say, ask me why I'm doing this. Ask me why my horse,
absolutely 100%.
Whatever, just ask why.
Yeah, I do say that at the beginning. I say, listen, my favorite question is why. And I feel that I have no right to ask you to do something if I don't know why I'm asking you to do it. So I know the why of everything that I'm going to ask you to do. Now, there might be a why of something you've seen that I don't know, and I'm going to be so excited about that question. And guess who I'm going to go and talk to find out why. No, but I do always say, you need to ask why. Please don't, if you don't understand why you're doing it, ask me. Don't do things just because I said so. I mean, there are, of course, moments in safety moments where I just go, let go or move out of the way. You're not going to stop in that moment and say why.
Safety and
why should I move?
So safety trumps everything, whether it's with the clients, whether you're teaching, or whether we're out and about with our own horses. Safety trumps everything, but yeah, it's interesting.
And I just realized that actually me seeing these thinking posts or patients posts and be feeling so affected by it, does tie in nicely with what we wanted to talk about today, which was, do we normalize unhappy horses? We don't even realize they are unhappy.